Are you ready to level up your financial game in 2024? Today, we're going to share some top finance tips to help you make bank. We'll venture into the realm of budgeting, highlighting the importance of knowing where your money is going and how to trim the fat from your expenses. We'll then move on to the power of early investments and how the magic of compound interest can boost your wealth over time. Next, we'll tackle the high-interest debt that may be gnawing at your financial health, discussing strategies to eliminate it effectively. And lastly, we'll underscore the importance of building an emergency fund, because life, as we all know, is full of surprises. Each of these strategies is a stepping stone towards your financial success in 2024 and beyond. So without further ado, let's dive into the first tip and start making your money work for you. Tip number 1, create a budget and stick to it. Knowing where your money is going is key to financial success. Creating a budget empowers you to understand your financial state. It's a roadmap that illustrates your income, your expenses, and most importantly, your savings. So how do you create one? Begin by jotting down your monthly income. This includes your salary, any side hustles, or passive income streams. Then, list out your fixed expenses. These are expenses that remain constant each month, such as rent or mortgage payments, utilities, and subscriptions. Next, identify your variable expenses. These fluctuate each month and include groceries, dining out, entertainment, and personal care. This is where you can make significant changes to save more. Once you've noted down your income and expenses, it's time to do some math. Deduct your total expenses from your total income. If you're left with a positive number, great! This is your surplus, which could be used for savings or investments. If the number is negative, it indicates you're spending more than you're earning. But not to worry, this is where the beauty of budgeting comes in. Look over your variable expenses and identify areas where you can cut back. Maybe it's that extra coffee from the fancy cafe each morning or the premium cable package you rarely use. Remember, it's not about eliminating all fun from your life, but about making conscious decisions to secure your financial future. As you make these changes, track your expenses regularly. There are numerous budgeting apps available that can make this process easier. Sticking to a budget might be tough initially, but it gets easier over time. It's a habit, and like any other, it takes practice. You'll soon start enjoying the control you have over your money and the peace of mind that comes with it. At the end of the day, keeping a budget is not about restricting what you spend. It's about understanding your spending habits and making informed decisions. By maintaining a budget, you take control of your financial future. Moving on to tip number 2. Start investing early. The power of compound interest can make a huge difference in the long run. Let's hit the pause button for a moment and think about this. What is compound interest? Simply put, it's the interest on your interest. When you invest, you earn interest on your initial investment and then you earn interest on that interest. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, growing bigger and faster as it goes. Now, why is it so important to start investing early? Well, the longer your money is invested, the more time it has to compound. That's the magic of time and compound interest working together. It's not just about how much you invest, but how long you let your investments grow. Let's say you start investing at the age of 25, putting away $1,000 a year at a 7% interest rate. By the time you're 65, you've invested $40,000, yes, but thanks to compound interest, you'll have over $200,000. But what if you wait until you're 35 to start investing? Even if you invest the same amount at the same rate, you'll only have a little over $100,000 by the time you're 65. That's the power of starting early. But it's not just about throwing your money into any investment. It's important to have a diverse portfolio. What does that mean? Diversification is a strategy that involves spreading your investments across various types of assets like stocks, bonds, real estate, and more. This way, if one sector takes a hit, you have others to fall back on. It's like not putting all your eggs in one basket. Diversification can help mitigate risk and potentially increase your returns over time. Remember, the earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. So don't wait. Start your journey to financial success today. Tip number 3, pay off high-interest debt. Those interest charges can really add up over time. Let's dive into the world of debt, specifically high-interest debt. Now, debt isn't inherently evil. It can be a useful tool when managed properly. However, high-interest debt is a different beast, and here's why. Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack. The more you fill it, the heavier it gets, right? High-interest debt works in a similar way. The more you owe, the more interest you accrue, making your financial backpack heavier and harder to carry. What's worse? This backpack doesn't get lighter with time. In fact, it gets heavier. That's because of compound interest, a powerful force that can work against you with high-interest debt. Simply put, compound interest is interest on interest, so the longer you take to pay off your debt, the larger it grows. So how do you lighten this load? You prioritize paying off your high-interest debt first. This is often called the avalanche method. Imagine you're standing at the foot of a mountain of debt. The peak represents your highest interest debt. By focusing all your extra money on this peak, you'll reduce the total amount you owe in the long run. But what if you have several debts with similar interest rates? In this case, consider the snowball method, where you pay off the smallest debts first. This can provide a psychological boost, helping you maintain momentum in your debt payoff journey. Remember, this doesn't mean you should neglect your other debts. Continue making minimum payments on all debts while focusing on the one with the highest interest rate or the smallest balance, depending on your chosen strategy. Also, consider seeking advice from a financial advisor or using online tools to help you map out your debt repayment plan. In conclusion, high-interest debt can feel like a heavy burden, but with a clear strategy and discipline, you can lighten the load. By tackling your high-interest debt first, you'll save money in the long term. Finally, tip number 4, build an emergency fund. Life is full of unexpected expenses, so having a cushion to fall back on is crucial. Let's dive right into the heart of this. An emergency fund, in essence, is a stash of money set aside to cover the financial surprises that life throws our way. These unexpected events can be stressful and costly. Think of it as a financial safety net that keeps you afloat during times of crisis, whether it's a sudden job loss, an emergency home repair, or an unexpected medical expense. So, how much should you aim to save in your emergency fund? A good rule of thumb is to accumulate enough to cover 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This amount could keep you out of financial trouble without dipping into your long-term savings or racking up credit card debt. Now I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of money to save. But don't worry, you don't have to do it all at once. Start small and make regular contributions to your emergency fund. Even a small amount, when saved regularly, can add up over time. Here are a few strategies to help you build your emergency fund. First, consider setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account. This way, you're saving without even thinking about it. Second, whenever you receive unexpected money like a tax refund or a bonus at work, resist the temptation to splurge and put a portion of it into your emergency fund. Lastly, look for areas in your budget where you can cut back. Every dollar saved is a dollar added to your emergency fund. Remember, the goal of an emergency fund is to provide financial security and reduce the stress caused by unexpected expenses. It's not meant to fund vacations or luxury purchases. It's your safety net for those rainy day events. With an emergency fund, you'll be prepared for whatever life throws at you. So, are you ready to take control of your finances in 2024? Let's recap what we've covered in our journey to financial literacy. First, we've learned the importance of creating a budget and sticking to it. Knowing where your money goes is not just enlightening, it's empowering. Then, we delved into the power of investing early, underscoring the magic of compound interest. Diversification is not just a buzzword, it's a strategy for maximizing returns and minimizing risks. We also talked about the critical step of paying off high-interest debt. Those interest charges, they're not your friends. The sooner you bid them goodbye, the better. Lastly, we emphasized the necessity of building an emergency fund. Life loves surprises, and having a financial cushion can turn a crisis into a hiccup. By following these finance tips, you'll be well on your way to financial success in 2024 and beyond. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more money-saving tips.